Hello, it's good to have you. It's good to have you here. Let me have a hi if you've tuned in. All right. What's up, Boom and Crash family? What's up? Today is another great day to discuss the market. Just have a chat about what's going on in the Boom and Crash world. If you have joined the stream, kindly drop a hi. Yeah, Major. I hope you're doing good. Major 0707. I thought it would be 007, as in James Bond, but that's fine. Crash 500. Let's see. All right, Crash 500 is ranging currently. It's ranging on M30 and H1. Let me see H4. Yes, it's also ranging on H4. This is the shoulder. Okay, this is the shoulder of the chart. This is what we have. This is what we have. We have this. Okay. Then we have this. Then we have this. Then we have this. So this is the head. This is the head, all right, and this is the left shoulder when you're facing. This is the right shoulder. So since this is consolidating, we would have to wait for a break. There's a consolidation here and there. You have to wait for a break. If it breaks up, you buy along and then you set a TP close to it, and if it comes down, you sell. Now remember, Crash 500 has been coming from, let me zoom out. It's been coming from the bottom. It's been coming from the bottom and it's climbed its way up. So one of the safest trades you can place is a sell. One of the safest trades to place is a sell, because it's been coming from the bottom. All right, it's been coming from the bottom, and we have a shoulder created. I think I used H4. Yeah, there's a shoulder. So there's the head and these are the shoulders. Now let's check M1 on Crash 500. This is M1. Okay, let me check M5. Do your best to compare several time frames. If you look at only one time frame, you might be wrong, because if you look at M1 and M5, you only have a short sight of the market. But if you switch to H1 and even H4, you know where the market is coming from. So for this, now there has been a break in, I want to have this very wide, but I can't seem to. Okay, let me use H4. This is a consolidation, then there's a break, and then an upward trend is formed, then a downward trend. Now this downward trend is prevented from going down, further down, even though the market was coming from the bottom. Was prevented from going further down by consolidating here. So at this point in time, the market is contemplating which direction to take. But then, just like range break, this point looks like range break, and it's bouncing off a resistance, hitting a support, going back to a resistance, and the area that has more hits is likely to break in that area. So if price keeps hitting this area, it's likely to break this area to the top and then come down again, because after this downward trend, it's not just going to come down. I sent a picture on my Telegram page. It's not the expectation we have is that the market should just move down straight away, but the reality is that it moves up and down, and creates lower lows and lower highs until it comes down. So at this point in time, we have something looking like a range break forming. So immediately price breaks the resistance, we know it's going to buy for a while, or when it breaks the support, it's going to sell for a while. I hope you get the point. Just for laughs, you're welcome, and Gift from Aquarius, you're also welcome. How is your channel coming through? Right, so for M1, so the question is, what are we going to do on M1? For M1, I'm going to wait for a while before I place a trade. Now at this point, the spikes have calmed down. This is what I talk about when I teach people with low balance, that if you have $20, $10, the best time to enter a trade is after a long series of spikes, because at that time the spikes tend to calm down. So that is your best shot to buy. That's what I tell people. Okay, that's the best time to buy. All right, any other thing that you want us to look at? I was looking at Boom 1000. Boom 1000 has been in a serious uptrend for days. Okay, and I'm expecting that this market is going to trend like crazy in the coming days. It's going to trend downward like crazy in the coming days, because it's been moving up abnormally for a long time. So this support 1, let's call this support 1, S1. I'll call this S1, support 1. And when I zoom in again, I can have support 2 here, and I'll call this support 2. So now I'm already in a loss here, because the market created a false reversal, so I entered a loss. But I'm hopeful that it's going to come down. I'm somewhere here in a loss, because this consolidation was coming down, and then by the time I realized, it shot up again. So currently I'm in a loss, this range. Okay, now this heavy trend made me think it was going to come down until it bounced off. It created a new support. Actually, it had broken this support on a lower time frame, but if I had looked at it in H1, I would have been more patient. So I took the trade early, and then I'm in a loss. But I'm waiting for these support lines to be broken, and then we have a downtrend. So that's what I'm predicting on Boom 1000. It can still, be stubborn and decide to still go up, creating further loss. But I would hold on till the support is broken. Yes. So any other markets you want us to take a look at? How many of you have implemented the step index strategy? Yeah, so how many of you have implemented the step index strategy I shared with you on the Telegram page? How is it going for you? Or you're not fond of that strategy? All right, let's look at Crash 1000. What's happened? Crash 1000, now exactly what is going to happen on Boom 1000 in the coming days. This is what happened on Crash 1000. It was massive. We had a support 1 here. This was a crazy uptrend. There was literally no spikes here. If you had come in here and you had low equity, you would have blown your account. Or even if you had $1,000 and you came in here and it never spiked in your direction, you're going to close it. I doubt anybody is going to see the market move this way and not close it. It's too far away from your position. But then the surprising thing is, if you had held for just a few more days, you would even make profit. So this boom and crash game, if you have more money, you make more money, because you can stay in the market, hang in a loss, and still have hope that the market is going to bounce back in your direction. Let's draw support 2. We have support 2 here. S2. Then we wait for the market to break S2. Once it breaks S2, we know it's going to sell like crazy, and then it breaks S1, another sell. So what we have here, we have a shoulder here. We have this first shoulder, we have this second shoulder. The same thing happened on the crash 500 market. The same thing. Have you realized that if you have traded boom and crash for a while now, you realize that there are similar patterns that form on, if it's a boom market, there are similar patterns forming on boom 1000 and boom 500. There are similar patterns forming on crash 1000 and crash 500. So the same pattern, you see the same pattern on crash 500, and it's likely that this is going to follow the same direction. If crash 500 breaks upward, there's a likelihood 1000 is going to break upward. But the disclaimer is that it's not always the case, even though most of the time that's what happens. It's not always the case. Okay, let's switch to M1, the scalping mode, and see what we have here. Okay, so this is what we have. We have a resistance here, and it hasn't been broken yet. It hasn't been broken yet. So we are not going to enter a buy. There is likely it's going to sell, but sometimes you cannot really conclude. So what you do is you actually wait for the market to form clearly, unless of course you have enough equity and you want to take a guess. You have also every opportunity to do that. You can take a wild guess. Okay, you can take a wild guess. That is if your equity is large enough. So we wait for the resistance to be broken, and the funny thing is sometimes you have a false break or you have a fake break. The fake break is such that these candlesticks are going to cross just a little bit, and guess what, they're going to spike again. So you'll be thinking, okay, it's crossed my resistance, I'm going to buy. Immediately you buy, there's a spike, then it comes, it's a spike, then it comes this way, then there is even a longer spike. By the time you realize, your account is in jeopardy. Okay, so at times you would have to wait for a true breaking of the line, where you see it breaks the line, it spikes, breaks and spikes, and yet resistance line. At that point you can fully confirm that the resistance line has been broken. You can fully confirm the resistance line has been broken. Right. Yes. Which other market do we look at? And if you have any questions, let me know. Let's get interactive. Have we looked at boom 500? Boom 500 also has been on a massive downward trend. This has been on a massive downward trend. If I switch to H1, you're going to see it here. Literally no spikes, literally there, and still going down, hits this support and bounces up. Bounces up, goes down again to hit the support, and bounces up. You see that? So I'll switch to M5 and see. For me, what I'm going to do on boom 500 is I'm going to buy. Set TP here. Because there is more room for a retracement. This is M5. There's more room for retracement. If I switch to M15, there's more room for retracement. There's more room for retracement. So it's a buy for me. Yes, Victor, I offer account management. $500 minimum deposit. Yeah. Okay. So you can send me a message as well on Telegram to discuss how you want your account to be managed. Yes, so any questions, any observations you want us to talk about? Let's get interactive. What else haven't we've taken a look at this virtually everything. Then one of my new favorites is step index. Step index is very easy to scalp. Step index. For instance, you come in a buy. Now a lot of you saw my profit on step index today, the one I placed on the page. What I do is I can go for a buy, place my TP just here, can go for a sell, place my TP just here. Very, very easy to scalp. And then you just be picking the profits and then go for another buy and sell, or you can go for a sell, more sells, more buys, depending on where you feel the market is heading. Okay, it can be very, 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 very simple. So I pick my 20 cents, can go for a buy. And this is not for small equity. This is for people with about $1,000, even $700. You can do this, because I did this on a $600 account and it was profitable. Very, very profitable. So it can be very, very simple. Each tick is 10 cents. You go for it, you're out. Go for it, you're out. So if you come here, I've secured how much? $1.20. And this is my where is it? Sell. Okay, this is the loss. Yeah, 380. I go for a buy. I can go for more buys to counter my sell. That's one thing I didn't talk about in my last video. I can go for more buys to counter what? A sell. More buys to counter a sell. And more buys to counter a sell. So at the end of the day, you have positive net profit, and this is very simple. You can switch to 10 cents if you want. Very, 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 very simple. You trade divergence, Aquarius? Not really. No, I hardly trade divergence. I hardly do. I just trade price action. So my support, my resistance and stuff. Can go for a sell again. So yesterday I opened about 10 to 15 positions because I was trying my best to fish out profit at every point in time. So in the middle like this, you go for both a buy and sell when it's here, and definitely you're going to pick one out. And the good thing is, if you pick a buy and then it starts selling, you can also immediately close your sell. Get it? Very, very simple. I think what spiked was my Boom 500. It spiked, so I have my profit secured. Yeah, so because the price bounced off what? A support. It bounced off a support, so it's definitely going to spike. There's more room for spikes. Just trade cautiously. Okay, there's more room for spikes because from a higher time frame, you see the market coming from the top is falling, so it needs to correct itself. This is market correction. Now if you even look at each one, let's switch to even D1 a day. This is boom 500. Okay, see where it's coming from. This is where it's coming from on the daily chart. That's massive. Okay, I have some profit here. I take my profit. That's massive. It's coming from the top, very far. So there is more room for spikes on boom 500. If you sell at this point, if you are going for a long sell, you might be in trouble, because if it starts spiking, it's not coming back anytime soon. So fine, you can sell, but then do your analysis carefully before you sell. Yes. So Victor, you can send me a message on Telegram at Danny Legend. So what else are we looking at? Step index. Yeah, so it's going to come here and hit it. Now if it hits my sell, there's also more room for buy. I come here, there's more room for buy, because step is also falling from the top, and each one even gives you a stronger confirmation. Now see where it's coming from on the H1, even H4. See where it's coming from. Step is coming all the way from here to where we are currently. So I am predicting that, now this is, what's the month? Let me check when it started falling. Yes, the middle of April, step index started falling. So from May to June, it's going to trend upward, because the market needs to correct itself. It's not going to go upward straight away, but it's going to go up a little bit, come down, up, down, up, down, up. By the time you realize, it has fully corrected itself. So I take my profit, no trouble. I have minus, so I have only buys here. So on step, I need to sell to balance it, and when I sell, I can immediately take some profit, and I'm gone, and I can sell again to counter the buys I have. Do you get the whole concept? So if I come here, I've secured some amount of profit, more than $3. Now I wasn't doing this right, so I have a huge loss gap. But then if I'm consistent and I'm staying on the market and focused, I'm going to earn a lot on that market. Aquarius says better to catch spikes on the 500 and just bar follow on the thousands. Yes, to an extent, that's true. But I don't want to have a hard and fast rule, because I feel there's no hard and fast rule to trading for spikes or trading for trends. Initially, when I started, trading for trading boom and crash, I was a spike guy. I was like, okay, the spikes are always the best. That's quick money. Yeah, it's true to an extent. It's quick money. But then there were times I traded for spikes and I was in deep trouble, because the market kept trending and trending and trending. I think I wasn't so conversant with market analysis at the time, so I was in deep trouble. That's what happened. And there are times that you go for the trend and the spikes really deal with you. So it all depends on your analysis of the market, and knowing when a trend is going to happen, and when a trend is going to happen in the form of spikes, and a trend is going to happen in the form of the normal movement of the candlesticks, or the intrinsic or the natural movement of the candlesticks. Yeah, so that's what I think. So for now, I'm not stuck on trading only spikes or trading trends, but I feel like when I analyze the market and okay, there's a good occasion for spikes, I jump on in. This is a good occasion for trends, I jump in. Yeah, so that's how I want to go now. Yes, but then whatever works for you. And the second of all, my Fibonacci levels works with pretty high accuracy as well on boom and crash. Yeah. It has to obey your Fibonacci. It really has to, because it's just like any other market. You're analyzing, like forex. It follows your Fibonacci very well. I don't know why step index is still crashing. It follows Fibonacci very well. So should boom and crash. Now boom and crash, even on a higher time frame, doesn't look like boom and crash. On H1 it just looks like forex. It just looks like, you know, currencies or commodities or whatever it is. It's only M1 that makes the difference. Apart from that, M1, M5, M15. Yes, M15 looks quite like jump index. M15 looks like jump index. This is how jump index looks like. But then M30 begins to show you the real face of the thing and makes it look more like forex trading. Yeah, so let me have your questions. Let me have your questions on boom and crash. Have I traded a bulls and bears market on D-Trader? It's almost a guaranteed win on the daily chart to trade in that direction. Oh, okay, I'll have to check it out. I haven't yet. I've seen it, but I haven't looked at it. I think I should. Thanks for the heads up. I'll check that market. ASAP. Yeah, so you're welcome. I see people joining us. You're welcome to Boom and Crash Expert Advisor. If you're new to this channel, kindly subscribe, and also you can go through my playlist, my channel, the free items I have, the premium, and you know the new things I'm going to release very soon. Very soon I'll be releasing the free advanced moving average crossover alert. Some people were requesting for it. They wanted an updated version, something that is more upgraded and more customizable. So I'm releasing the free advanced moving average crossover alert. So whenever it crosses over, your preferred moving averages cross, is going to give you an alert. Yes, so stay connected on this channel. We are not just posting strategies, we are teaching how to trade. We are teaching you to fish. It's not just strategies you cram blindly, but then you want to understand the market. You want to understand the market, okay, so that you trade like a pro. We are all learning. I'm not there yet. I'm still learning. I'm making mistakes here and there, but then I believe that it's going to come a time where I make fewer losses. Very few losses. Yeah, very few losses, and that's how it works. This guy has to break this because I'm in a loss somewhere. He has to break this, so I'll be back in profit. Yeah, so we are learning, we are losing. Anyone that tells you he or she trades boom and crash and never loses, even with the best market analysis, I wonder where the person is from. You must not be from this earth, because definitely some way, somehow, you are going to be caught by a trend or a spike. You're going to be in trouble somewhere. Yes, so we are learning, we are making mistakes, and we are learning from them. Any more questions? Let me know your thoughts. Mishok's Projects and Communication says, what time frame do you prefer to trade boom and crash? 1000. Yes, M1. That's the best for scalpers, and I'm a scalper. I only do swing trading when I'm in a loss. When I'm in a loss, I can leave it to run, and I'll sleep without a stop loss, and I wake up, not because I have so much money, but because my lot size is small, and the market retracements can help it survive. Okay, can help it survive. So I trade on M1, but before I take an M1 trade, I consider all other time frames up to H4. I don't consider D1, W1, MN. I consider M1, M5, M15, M30, H1, and the last H4. So when I see a strong confirmation on H1, H4, I look at M30, M15, M5, then I come to M1, then now I place a trade. So that's what I do. Yeah, and sometimes you won't have it. Most of the time I have it going in my way. okay, going my direction, but some of the times it goes against my predictions. Yeah, M1 is best because the candles change. Yeah. So for scalpers, we are just there to swoop some few coins and we are out of the market. No time to waste. Yeah, so some of us, we just go to swoop the profits, the few candles, and we are okay. We are good to go. I mean, if you can achieve a minimum of $20 every day, a minimum of $20 every day for 30 days straight, we have $600, from a side hustle. Yeah, $600 from a side. And I mean, someone is in the office and $600 is what they get for the month. Okay, but you are maybe you are doing office work as well, but on the side, if you are earning $600 just by picking trades and making sure you have $20 a day, that's a good thing. That's a good source of income on the side. So boom 1000, I'm waiting for you to start trending heavily, and then I can now laugh in confidence. Let's see what's happening now. I'm going to clear everything I've drawn here. Let's see what's happening. Okay, so we are yet to cross or break the resistance. Okay, for I haven't touched crash 1000 and is it boom 500 in a while, because the market is not convincing enough. Now you see there's another spike after we took this. There's been another spike, so it's going to move up, but then it can start to trend again, then create a new support here, and then it can come down, break this support. Whilst you are thinking it's going to buy, it can break the support and go down again. So that is where the disadvantage of price action sometimes plays. Let me take my step index profits. Yeah, yeah. After we took this, there's been another spike. So it's going to move up. Yeah. So but then it can start to trend again, then create a new support here. Have a combination of time frames. So the best time frame is a combination of time frames. That's deep. Yeah. That's deep. The best time frame is a combination of time frames. The best time frame is a combination of time frames. After we took this. Okay. Yeah. So yes, gift. We'll be working more. I believe you've also started your channel. I don't know whether it's up and running yet, but we are here to support you and push your channel. That's deep. Yeah, that's deep. The best time frame is a combination of time frames. Yeah. The best time frame. So welcome to Boom and Crash Expert Advisor. If you're new to this channel, kindly subscribe. I'm hoping to start streaming in all right, sure. Okay. All right, gifts. All right. Yeah. So yes, gifts. We're working more. I believe you've also started your channel. So I don't know whether it's up and running yet, but we are here to support this combination. Push your channel. That's the best time. All right, keep your questions coming. Now, do you see a consolidation on the boom 500 market? There's a consolidation here. This is ranging. I'll delete this. This is a ranging market, so there's a likelihood or a high likelihood that it's going to go up. Now this is just like range break. I think Deriv developed the whole range break concept when they started seeing that, you know, the boom and crash market can range and then break. So they decided to sit down in a meeting and introduce something called range break, where, you know, the market ranges and breaks. And according to the spike detection strategy I used, or I shared with you on range break, the resistance or the support that has the most hits is where the market is likely to break. So you see here, it hits support, bounces off, hits support, bounces off, goes to hit the resistance, bounces off, hits support, bounces off, and it's now above 50%. So if we were to be using the Fibonacci, okay, and we draw something like this, you'd see that at the 50% level, which is this, the market, most of the candles are above the 50 level, which means that it's attempting to hit this resistance. And if price is attempting to hit this resistance, it means that the current price market, or the market price, okay, at the current place is very far from the support, which means that there's a low probability that this market is going to trend, and there's a high probability that it's going to spike. So most of the candles as it stands are in the area of the resistance. They are above the 50% mark. So there's a high probability that it's going to spike upward and break the resistance. Yes, Chijosh, I hope I pronounce it right. Does price action work on boom and crash? Yes, it does, 100%. I think even price action is more accurate on boom and crash than forex and commodities, because those things are also affected by news. But boom and crash is solely computer algorithm. It's called a random number generation system. Okay, it's disorderly, disorderly ordered, or is ordered disorderly. That is boom and crash is ordered disorderly. Okay, it's a random number generation system, and yet is in order. So it follows price action much more than forex and commodities and stocks, because those ones are affected by news. But this is solely technical analysis, no fundamentals. Elliott waves, MACD divergence works like crazy. Yes, I'm sure Gift is raking millions on boom and crash. He seems to have a lot of working strategies. I like that. Yes, Elliott waves, MACD Elliott waves occurs a lot. Yeah, and it moves together with the SNR and MACD divergence. I'm yet to look into MACD divergence, but you know, I shared with you on the 5 best indicators for boom and crash, and MACD was one of the indicators that I spoke about, that tends to tell you the future, you know, have the buys and sells and all that. But MACD tells you that the momentum by which the market is moving is slowing down. For instance, if I first of all, let me clear everything here, and I add my MACD oscillator, MACD, and I maintain everything. MACD is telling me that now from here is selling. The selling momentum was high at this point. So you see that the main line signals are increasing in height, and then they begin to decrease, increase again, decrease, until they get to the zero and they cross. So MACD is actually telling you that the market is moving from high momentum of sales into a buy zone. Then it moves again, candles decrease. So one of the good signs of entering is when candles begin to decrease. When candles begin to decrease, it's a good sign. So I'll move to current price level for you to see. Now at this point, you see MACD actually helps predict the future. Oh, this is coming back into profit, my step index trades. So MACD helps you know what's going to happen in the future by telling you that the momentum of the sales are decreasing, so it's going to buy soon. So at this point now, it doesn't cross the zero baseline. which is this, the zero baseline. It doesn't cross it. Okay, it doesn't cross it. But then even though the market is selling, it doesn't how do I put it now? The market is selling at this point, but MACD is still trying to tell you that the market is going to buy. Why does it do that? Because from here you realize that this within this small range from here, I think I should use my vertical line instead. From here to where the candles began to decrease inside up to this point, MACD, even though there's a short series of spikes, MACD is telling you that the momentum or the volume of the ticks have decreased in such a way that the volume of the ticks that sell have decreased in such a way that it is confident enough to tell you that the market is going to buy, even with this small area of spikes. Even with this small area of spikes, it tells you the market is going to buy. Usually we should expect, say, a wide range before we know that, okay, the market is going to sell or buy. But then with just this small range of spikes on the M5, it tells you it's going to buy. Then it sells again, then it goes up again, and guess what? Eventually buys at this point. Then it falls. So this is telling you, I'm gonna go for a buy here, because that's what I feel is gonna happen. It's gonna come down, get close to the baseline, just like what we have here. Here, and then there's going to be a spike. So this is the support. It's going to bounce off. So we get here. I feel it's going to bounce off, because as I said, there's more room for spikes. Gift says is controlled chaos price action trading. All right. Yeah. So there's more to learn when it comes to trading. There's so much more to learn that I'm also doing my research and my studies. I'll be coming up with more strategies, discovering what works and what doesn't work, because we have to grow together. It's not just a channel. Once again, I would say it's not just a channel that sends out strategies, but it's a channel that is set out to train people how to trade. It's not just spoon feeding you with strategies, but you're actually learning the whole how trading works in itself. I want it to be such that someone gets on the channel and knows that I can learn a great deal of stuff I never knew from this channel. It's not just a place you come to copy strategies, copy and paste strategies, but then you come to learn how to even create your own strategies based on what is taught. That's the legacy. Yeah, that's the legacy. Right. Any more stuff to talk about? Then we wrap up. You're welcome. I see people joining. We are wrapping up soon. If you missed a great deal of the video, you can always go back and watch from the beginning. It includes predicting where market is going to move and other thoughts. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me. It's been nice having you around. Thanks. Okay, thank you very much, and have a lovely night. Morning for some of you, afternoon for some of you. You're welcome. I see people joining. Wrapping up soon. Yes, a great deal of video. Always go back and watch from the beginning. It includes predicting where market is going and other thoughts. Okay, so thank you very much for